Hi guys, if you're in year 11 or year 12 and you're thinking about applying to medical school, this video is for you. My name is MILA and I'm a medical student in London, and in today's video I want to tell you how to build a really good medical school application for medical school in the UK. So the first thing I did that most people actually do is studying the right subjects. If you're in year 11 and you're thinking about which A levels you should choose, but you kind of want to study medicine, maybe, I would say definitely choose biology and chemistry. You need those subjects in order to be able to do medicine, anyways, and it will help you when you're studying, when you're in medical school. And second of all, most people do have biology and chemistry and they show kind of your interest for science, so if you have them, it's a major plus. Some universities don't accept any students without biology and chemistry, and some universities only require chemistry. So you can start looking into some universities if you know more or less what you want to study, and see if you actually have to do both subjects or if you only want to do one. But if you want to have all your options open, I would say do both subjects. If you are studying IBs, or if you're doing a BTech, try to do sciences because they still show the same thing. I don't really know how those subjects, how those things work, but I know that you still have the opportunity to do sciences, or you still have the opportunity to do even biology and chemistry, and if you do them. In the third subject, you don't really have to kind of do a science, you don't have to do maths, which is what most medical students do, but you don't. If you want to do something else, something that shows what you actually love, for example, some people do psychology, sociology, geography, history, those subjects show another part of you and they might actually help you stand out. So if you want to do something different, do it. Physics would be really good as well if you're good at it. So choose your subjects wisely and make sure that you have the ones you need to study medicine, but you also have something that you love so that you don't get bored. Number two, this is kind of like an iffy topic, which is work experience. Different unis will ask you for different things. Some unis don't even ask for work experience. Some unis have a minimum requirement. However, the universal kind of timeline on number of weeks you need normally is 2 weeks of work experience, and you don't really need more than that. I know some people who have like 3 months, 6 months of work experience, but that just shows that you have connections, and not everyone does. So the medical school can't really give you an advantage for that. So if you get 2 weeks of work experience, do them. It'd be ideally you should do 1 week in the hospital, 1 week in the GP. I only had 1 day in a hospital. I had no days in the GP because I have no connections, but I still managed to get into medical school. So if you don't manage to get work experience, as long as you show that you're trying, and as long as you do some online work experience, I know there's some stuff going on there. If you can't pay for it, because most of it is not free, try to follow these pages that give you some certificates, some nice work experience, some case scenarios, and you can go to your interview and be like, yeah guys, this is what I've done. I couldn't really afford to pay for work experience, or I couldn't really get to the hospital because of COVID, but I have done something, and that will show your interest for the subject. So make sure you have that. Number three, volunteer. If you can go to the care home, the hospital, your community, just show that you want to be there for people and support people, and do something good for your community. Volunteer. It will be something that you can talk about in your interviews, in your personal statement, and even though it won't really make you stand out because nowadays everyone volunteers, it's just something good to talk about. It's something good to do, and it's good for your personal statement, your CV, or anything else. So volunteer. Number four, attend conferences, talks, or courses. Anything you can get into, go to it. If it's online, do it. Get your certificate, because you know what? When I was in year 12, I started researching. I went to some conferences in the Royal Society of Medicine. They were free, and I went to this one talk in Eton College that my school arranged, and I know that not everyone will have that opportunity, but then I also went to like a lot of talks at King's College London. I was always there. They had this own project, K Plus I think, which allowed students to go there to lectures and hear stuff about medicine, and I did that, and then I could talk about it in my personal statement. So do all that kind of stuff. Go to talks, network. You might even meet someone. That's how I met the doctor that I shadowed in my work experience, because if I hadn't gone to that talk, I wouldn't have any work experience. So you know what, network, go to talks, go to conferences, do courses, and that will give you something to talk about and stand out in your personal statement and interviews. Number 5, either do research or read research. I know not everyone has the opportunity to do research within their school. For me, I did an EPQ and I did the Brilliant Club essay, which I got a first on, and my EPQ I got a C on. So you see, I didn't even do that well, but just showing that I went through that process and I researched and I know how to research and reference and do all that kind of stuff, it gives me something to talk about in the interviews and my personal statement, and it shows my interest for the scientific community. And if you can't do any research, you can read research papers and still show your interest for the science and for everything, the progress of medicine. And that's what you want to show in your interview. Number 6, the one I think is the most important of all, which is look at all the skills a doctor needs to have. Write them down in, a whiteboard or something like that, and go through the skills and make sure you have an experience for each one of the skills. For example, if you have to show teamwork, if you've never been in a team, if you've never done anything related to teamwork, make sure you join a sports team. Make sure you get a job and you work in a team for at least a couple months. Have something to talk about in your interview. It's not all about the interview and personal statement, but get the experience of working in a team, get the experience of leadership, develop a project inside of your school, get the experience of resilience. Because you know what, when I was in my interview for one of my universities, they asked me a question on how had I shown resilience before, and I got stuck. I had nothing to talk about. And you want to be prepared for this stuff, because you know what, if you start preparing early, later on you will have more time to study for your subjects and have fun and chill. Whereas if you leave everything to the end, then you won't have a lot of time to do everything. You're going to be stressed, and it's going to be harder to be really well prepared for your interviews and for your personal statement. So get all the skills, resilience, leadership, teamwork, time management, all those skills, and make sure you have a little experience or a little thing you did, and expand on it and how you show those skills. Because ultimately that's what the university wants. They want a student who knows all the science, has done the work experience, is doing the right subject, is smart, and also has the skills. And that's all you need for your medical school application to kind of stand out and be a really good application and make sure that you get an interview. You don't need a lot. Make sure you tick all the boxes and you have kind of a little bit of everything they need. If you need any help getting any talks or stuff like that, let me know on my Instagram @MILA, and I might even make a post about it and help you guys. I hope this video is helpful, and if it is, like and comment. Thank you so much for watching it till the end, and I'll see you next time.